What's going on, guys? This is episode 11 of Whiskey Wednesday, coming at you by Mad Viking Beard Co. We just got spruced back up with our beard products. Right now, I don't need it necessarily shaped because not in work, so don't need all of this stuff right here, the beard brew. But the beard oil definitely helps keep it smelling good when we're under that mask. So, this is the show where we're bringing you the truth about health and fitness. No lies, no deceit, no selling bullshit products,
No skinny
teas.
No skinny tees, no wraps, like saran wraps around your waist.
Nope. We've seen that. This is all stuff we've seen in the gym. Literal saran wrap. It's a cheaper version of an already cheap product. Don't do it. Just go into the gym.
No fat burners.
No fat burners. All right. So today we are drinking Proper 12. We're also smoking. John, if you want to talk about what you're smoking?
I am smoking a handmade Dominican Casablanca cigar. It's a lighter cigar and it's really smooth.
I'm smoking an
Dark one.
Onyx Reserve. Going pretty dark today. Usually I go lighter, so usually the roles are switched. I'll light that up here in a second. On the topics of discussion today, we're going to go over supplements versus whole foods. Something that John and I have a little bit difference of opinion. I think we agree on all of it, but we utilize it differently based off our needs. Should we worry about micronutrients such as sodium, sugar, and fiber, kind of your macro of the micronutrients, I'd argue. How to stay on track during the holidays. We got 4th of July right around the corner coming up this weekend. And the benefits and traveling.
So those go hand in hand. A lot of people travel for the holidays, so we want to make sure you know how to stay on track while traveling and during the holidays.
Absolutely. Completely different things to think about, what we tell our clients, what we do ourselves. And the benefits of rest days and why you should do them. So, let's get into it. Supplements versus whole foods.
Supplements versus whole foods. So this is going to be different for a lot of people based on what your goals are. So if you're a lifestyle client or a competitor, every person should start with initially eating whole foods. They should find out what their weaknesses is, where's their weak spots in their diet, in their nutrition, and find out from there before you start adding in supplements. You don't know what you need until you know what you need based on your tracking. So what we want to do is tracking what you're eating now, try to adjust your macros based off of whole foods. Try to eat those. A lot of people are low on protein, so they supplement with a protein shake. Try to eat that protein before, especially if you're in a huge diet phase. You're going to want to eat more real foods to make you feel fuller instead of drinking your calories, drinking your macros.
100%. I know a lot, when I went into a bulk, is, I was fine on protein, but I couldn't get the rest of the macronutrients in, the rest of the calories in. So I just upped my protein a little bit for a while, did a protein shake because it's something that's small, could increase my appetite, until I could switch that out for whole foods. That took about a month. So I wasn't downing supplements every single day, got whole foods when I could. If I was lagging, then I'd throw in a protein shake. Other things to consider is, like today I was go, 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 go. So I added a protein bar in because I had about 6 hours of straight clients and not enough of a break to sit down and have a meal. Those are other things. But first, like you said, you need to track. Figure out where your weak areas are. Try to overcome those weak areas with whole foods. We can't, okay, let's talk supplements. Continually trying to overcome those weak areas with whole foods. But then let's talk supplements once we figure out those weak areas. Because the last thing we want you to do, waste your money on protein when you can easily hit your protein with just by eating. Also, things like hunger. So John's doing more of an extreme cut for bodybuilding. So yes, if you have the right post-workout protein powder, fast digesting carbohydrate, scientifically your supplements can be better than whole foods. That's the one time that they can be better than whole foods. However, if John's gonna binge eat because he's way too hungry because he doesn't have enough food in his stomach, reality-wise,
It's opposite. Yeah. It's working like an opposite effect because you're hitting that quick absorbing proteins and carbohydrates post workout, but then you're throwing your whole progress down the drain just by overeating later in the day.
Yeah.
So you're not in a deficit anymore.
Yep. Other things that can help is I know protein bars. Those are still a big area for, halting those cravings. So we're craving some chocolate, we have a chocolate protein bar. We're just craving sweets, so we have a sweet flavored protein bar instead of some other nutrients. Yeah. Adding in protein shake into oatmeal, something like that, making it more protein friendly, more macro friendly versus just having that oatmeal. So getting the protein in during that meal. Those are some other times. So usually it's like mixing something in. I know for me, the majority of the time that I'll use supplements is like my protein's low for that day, or I don't have the amount of time to get in protein between clients because I'm too busy. Those are the biggest times I'm adding in supplements, not I need to rely on the supplement every day like a skinny tea. When you see MLMs, we won't call out companies, but when you see MLMs, they're promoting skinny teas, this is gonna hit you to your goals. Well, what do you do when you hit your goal? Now you're gonna bounce back, now you're gonna go back on those skinny teas. That's not the way to do it. You don't wanna rely, you don't wanna be supplement reliant. You wanna have the supplements there for you when you can't do it through Whole Foods.
I generally try to use more supplements when I'm in a surplus and I can't eat those calories. When I'm full, when I'm not feeling like I can eat enough to keep me in that calorie surplus, keep me growing. That's when I'm going to add in the supplements. When I'm in a deficit, I'm going to lean more towards whole foods, so I'm going to feel fuller throughout the day.
We're also talking a lot of like fat burners, like the skinny teas that have stuff in there, protein shakes. I think we can universally agree that we probably use pre-workout before every single workout.
Yes. So the 3 supplements I generally use: pre-workout, and that's just like a stimulant just to give me energy. Protein, that's a macronutrient, and then creatine. Those are the 3 most important supplements that I find for me. Other than that, fat burners, skinny teas, stuff like that, I don't have time for them. I don't have money for them. It's a waste of my time and money.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Going into micronutrients.
Ooh.
The macros of the micros. So specifically sodium, sugar, and fiber is what we're going to cover.
We hear a lot of questions. I see a lot of people come from their doctors saying they should track their sodium, they should track their sugars. And that's going to be specific for people who have health issues. You want to go more into this?
Yeah, so people who've never been in the gym who are like, my doctor says I need to decrease my sodium. My sodium levels are too high. Whatever's too high, but sodium lowering, that's going to fix it. Well, first of all, doctors have about 6 to 8 hours of nutrition education throughout that entire doctorate experience. So, and that's specifically for weight loss and fat loss. That's not specifically for lowering sodium. That's not specifically for diabetes, anything like that. So they're pretty uneducated on that, whereas a lot of the people who are saying, okay, we need to lower our sodium, a lot of them simply just need to sweat more. They need to have more salt coming out of their body. So if I can get you to work out 3 days a week when you weren't before, I don't care if you decrease your salt at all. You're just simply sweating more, and what you're putting back into your body is water to help replenish all the water that was sweat out. So that's one huge thing. Sodium, I don't care about. The one thing that we need to consider though when it comes to sodium is you probably will have a heavier weigh-in day the next day. So we have date night.
Have a
high sodium day. So if you have above what your normal sodium intake is, date night, go and have a big steak dinner where the restaurant wants you to come back, so they're probably already going to put salt on it.
Yeah.
And then you're putting more salt on it. So now it's just loaded, caked with sodium. I love that.
I love it.
But I'm gonna have a high day the next day because my body's gonna hold on to more water because of the salt. So that's one thing to consider. Sugar, I think our biggest thing to realize is all carbohydrates are some form of sugar.
Yeah.
Your brown rices are more complex
They're going to
than
digest.
your white rice.
When they digest and break down, they turn into sugar.
Breaks down into your oses, your glucose, your sucrose, things like that. Some react a little bit differently, and I think that a bodybuilder should be one who knows which type of sugars they're putting into their body, what it's going to digest down into. Your post-workout shake, the type that that carbohydrate within it is going to get converted into. However, if it's going into a post-workout shake, you should be safe there, going into the right version. But generally speaking, for your general population client, all sugars are going to get broken down into the
Turn into energy.
Essentially the same thing to use for energy. So we want to watch our added sugar for the only reason of added sugar is going to make us reach our calories faster. So we can fit more carbs in if it's like rice cakes, brown rice, cauliflower, vegetables, things like that, versus a donut that has a bunch of added sugar in. As far as tracking it and watching out for sugar specifically, I don't think we need to worry about it.
Now, fiber. Of these three micronutrients, fiber is probably the most important one to track if you're going to track any of them. So the reason that fiber is most important is because of digestion. Especially if you're having digestion issues, bloating issues, stuff like that, you're going to want to start tracking your fiber and see where you're at. So generally speaking, I tell my clients to try to be between 25 to 35 grams of fiber a day. Eating vegetables is going to get you there. So just make sure you're eating your green vegetables and you'll get there. That'll help with bloating. That'll help with digestion. So make sure you're going daily, at least daily. I have some clients that don't go daily, and then I see I have all my clients track their fiber, and I saw like 5 grams, 7 grams of fiber, and I'm like, this is why you're not going daily. This is why your weight's up today. This is why you're bloated. You need to eat more fiber. So getting that fiber up, making sure it's there, making sure it's at a good, healthy level, especially if you're having digestion issues, you need to track that. There are fiber supplements so you can get to your fiber goals, but generally speaking, just eating vegetables is going to get you there.
So for coaches, that's an important note, is if you track your clients' fiber, they're complaining about they're in a cut and they're not like males not below 1,500, women not below 1,200, they're at 2,000 calories still and they're in a cut. If you look at their nutrition and their fiber is super low, tell them to eat more vegetables because they're probably not eating enough vegetables. That's kind of your indication. If they're saying, yeah, I'm eating a well-rounded variety, tell them to scan the barcode, bring it in. You personally track it and show them how much more fiber is coming into there. And that's how you can kind of catch, because the amount of carbs that are in vegetables is so low. You can eat so many vegetables, stay within your caloric intake, and be a lot more full throughout the day. It's going to help with diet adherence.
It does.
And that's how you can kind of catch, because a lot of them will say they're doing good, they might not know what good is. I'm good on protein. Well, they're having chicken at every meal, but it's a very small amount. So that's how you can kind of catch if they need to eat more vegetables.
Yeah, that's why I have a daily intake tracker for all my clients. They're going to track their proteins, fats, carbs throughout the day, and their fibers, as well as their water intake. So this is how we track trends. So they track those every day, and I generally have my clients track their weights if they want every day, if they can handle that, track it every day, just so we can see the trends, if it's going down, if it's going up, why is it going up, if it was a high water day, if it was low fiber day, stuff like that, so we can track the trends, see what's going on so I can make adjustments properly. I got to know what you're putting in your body so I can make adjustments.
Yeah. Huge thing that you said right there is, and it just slipped my mind now that I said that, but tracking that all day, we only can pick apart what it actually was.
Yeah.
Missed my point though, so going into how to stay on track while traveling and the holidays. Got 4th of July right around the corner. Yeah.
I'll cover holidays.
So traveling, pre-plan is you're probably going to eat a lot more foods that don't need to be heated up. So a lot of times I'll recommend sandwiches. You need to go a lot heavier on the meat than we typically do to stay within that protein. Now we're traveling this car ride, or even going on the plane, is beef jerky isn't bad. Beef jerky is loaded more up with sodium, but it's going to have your high quality natural source of protein. So beef jerky, taking something on you, maybe that's where supplements kind of come into play, is taking protein shakes, taking powders. Recommend putting it into a baggie, saying what it actually is, especially bringing different supplements like pre-workout versus protein powder. You don't want to mix your pre-workout and thinking it's protein powder, but TSA, you don't want to get caught with your big ass jug, and that's not convenient to fly with. Throw some supplements in a bag, that's super easy, just add water to a powder. But kind of pre-plan, know when you're going to stop at gas stations so you can pick up those snacks that are higher in protein, like beef jerky, nuts, things like that. And then maybe that's an area where we kind of save some supplements for.
I had a few questions about traveling. How long is the trip? Is it an extended stay? Are you going to be able to prep when you get there? Because then, if you can, pretty much do the same thing you've been doing.
Absolutely.
Are you flying or driving? Meal prep is a lot easier when you're driving. You can still pack some meals if you're gonna fly.
Yep.
I've taken like 5 or 6 meals in a flight. I got stopped and checked by TSA, but once they saw what it was, they cleared me to go. I wouldn't throw a lot of sauces in there though, like a lot of liquids. They might throw it away. But just packing your foods in there, and then you could get sauce when you get to your destination. What kind of travel is this? Is this a vacation? Or are you just going to see family? If it's a vacation, you can be a little bit more lenient. You're gonna want to enjoy yourself, which leads into holidays. Enjoy yourself, but don't go crazy. That's my general tip for all my clients. You're gonna want to enjoy yourself. You're not gonna want to stress over this. Stressing is gonna make you have a terrible trip. So enjoy yourself, but don't go crazy. Don't drink a whole bottle of whiskey. Don't drink a 12-pack of beers. Enjoy yourself. Don't go crazy.
One thing I'll tell my clients during the holidays is do more of the palm fist method. So there's palm fist, cupped hand. I just do fist. But a palm-sized portion of protein, size your palm around and the width, the thickness of your palm, not just around. Palm-sized portion of protein on the first plate, fist-sized portion of veggies, fist-sized portion of carbohydrates. I didn't say fats because that's typically, especially for the holidays, that's typically going to accompany your meat sources. It's probably going to be a fattier source of meat. So, second plate. There's never one plate when it comes to the holidays.
No.
Second plate, I say half-size portion of protein. A couple reasons for this. We're still going to get our protein in. You know, track earlier in the day, but once like if the holiday dinner happens, we're not tracking anymore. So our first meal during the actual holiday itself, palm size, fist. Second meal, half palm size. That's going to get you a little bit more protein. It's going to fill you up a little bit more so you're more satiated. You're not going to get as much of the snacky stuff in. And then from there, I just say have fun. Is you can fit that much more food in, you know, enjoy those pies, enjoy those cakes, those cookies, whatever it may
Only
be.
one day.
Yeah, one day. If you enjoy every single holiday, including some of the bullshit holidays, that's about 8%, 7% of your year, so that's still an A. You're coming in at 92, 93% in class, that's still an A. So that's how I kind of help keep you satiated, is go palm fist. We're not tracking on the actual holiday. You might still track breakfast and stuff just to make sure protein intake is high enough. But if you're eating still some of the same meals,
Okay, but 4th of July, big drinking holiday. What do you say?
big drinking holiday, I say personally focus on the micronutrients because that's what's going to help replenish all of that with your liver trying to filter the alcohol. So focus on micronutrients. Maybe that's a day where there are supplements out there that kind of like punch your body with like 2,000% of your daily value of things that your liver is going to use to actually process that. Focus on your water intake that day. Get some food in, get some carbs in you, especially to help soak up that alcohol so you can enjoy drinking and then not feel like shit the next day.
And then back after it. Yeah.
And then you get back after it, so you're not gonna feel like you're not gonna feel so shitty the next day that you're gonna just completely not eat and miss your macros again for 2 days instead of 1.
But overall, just enjoy yourself. That's our recommendation.
Go drink. We like to get shit faced. John's gonna get shit faced after his show.
Yeah, after my show. Book the Airbnb for that weekend. We're all gonna go down to St. Pete, chill downtown. Hopefully bars are open by then.
Our bar will be open.
Yeah, our bar will be open for sure. But hopefully St. Pete bars. We're about a block and a half from Parks and Rec. That's where we got an Airbnb. Yeah.
There we go.
We're gonna be down there the weekend of September 18th to the 20th. If you're in town, come see us. Come see me
Check us
compete.
out. Oh yeah, cheer 'em on.
All right. Last but not least, the benefits of rest days. So I told him I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I like to train every day, so I'm going to let him cover this topic.
All right, so rest days, you want your body to recover. That's where the growth actually happens. So growth happens when you're sleeping, not when you're training. You're tearing down the muscle fibers when you're training. So you want them to be able to recover. That's going to help you get over injuries, potential injuries. But your muscles are going to be able to relax, recover that day. You might do an active rest day, so maybe that's a day where we focus on our weaknesses, not go super heavy, do just some cardio, things like that. One thing that's important is, especially with like when the shutdown happened, some people didn't work out for a week, 2 week, 3 weeks at a time. At the end of that, if you were training intense 5-6 days a week, actually training intense, not just going in there going through the motions, at the end of that week of the shutdown, if you didn't work out, probably also 2 weeks after, you were probably stronger, you were probably in better shape than you were when the shutdown started. So a lot of times you'll see that. You may need to take every 6 months or so, take a week out from the gym. I know who's one of the most famous bodybuilders on this one of the most, he's like 50 and still competing.
Oh, Dexter Jackson.
Dexter Jackson takes about, it's either a month or 2 months off. Completely from the gym. He doesn't step into the gym after workouts. He just did,
I didn't even know that.
talked on his Instagram about it. He takes that completely off to allow his body to recover.
Enjoy time with family.
Obviously, he's going to come in bigger after those month to 2 months, just because he's eating a little bit more. But his muscles are just allowed to fully recover finally from training, from all that tearing down they've technically been doing. He's still freaking massive. But if you take a week, 2 weeks off from the gym, you're going to feel better. You're going to be stronger walking back into the gym. You're going to go through a little bit more soreness because you haven't been stimulated in that way from training. But that's what the importance of rest days are. Is we want our body to be able to actually recover because we're trying to grow it. We're trying to build the muscles up. So that's going to allow it to finally get that build up. So, both John and I are taking more online and in-person clients. In person, we are limited on time.
This
I
dude wants
have
5 a.m. clients.
I have one slot open for a 5 a.m. client. So if you can train Monday through Friday, one of those days at least, at 5 a.m., I can take you. Other than that, I'm pretty well booked up, truthfully speaking. However, online coaching doesn't take as much time because you're not sitting down there for an hour to 4 hours a week with an actual client. So check-ins are a little bit quicker process on my end, but we do more check-ins than once a month. So online clients, I'm taking more clients. John's taking a couple more clients in person. He's pretty booked up too.
I like to train people, so I'm kind of flexible depending on your schedule. So we'll see if it works out for both you and I. But I am taking more online clients. So in-person training, our personalities got to match. Like, I'm not going to train people I don't want to train in person. So hit me up, and if our personalities click, if we're good, I'll train you because I want to enjoy my time. I want to actually enjoy working. And if we're going to work in person together, I'm going to want to be able to talk to you throughout our hour sessions. But I am taking clients. I'm flexible. I like morning clients because the gym's busier later in the day. So hit me up if you want to train earlier, just not late in the evening.
Absolutely. We're both taking more online clients. You can hit me up at JakeBlock_fitness on Instagram. You can DM me, put my actual applications in there. I have you fill out the application so I can always keep track of that initial questionnaire information. If you want John, always connect with him at official JD Fit on Instagram, but you can apply for his coaching under the handle of at J Square Coaching. You can apply for him under that handle, as well as like, subscribe, and share this if you got anything out of it. Pay the dues back. We bring this for free to you. We don't have a bunch of advertising in our show, so pay the dues of liking, subscribing, and sharing it with a friend, as well as each week we're going to be giving away a 30-minute phone call with John or I. If you guys share this to your stories, just make sure you tag both of us, and you could potentially win a free coaching call with John or I that is 30 minutes long. Cover a lot of stuff there. Specifically, it's easy to go over nutrition there, but if you want to cover new training, anything else that you want to talk about, you can cover that with us.
That's a
as well.
$75 value, and we're giving away for free once a week.
100%. That is incredible value. Like I said, if you book like a macro consultation with us, it's $75. So that's coming to you for free. So we're giving you guys. Other than that, we'll leave you at that, and we will see you guys next week.
Later.